guys, welcome back to my channel Tominze. My name is Tomi and it has been a hot minute. But today's video, I'm talking about college. Yes, the C word. It was not an easy process to get into the college I wanted, so I want to talk about that. But I also want to make this video for all my international students, or specifically Nigerian, or if you just don't hold an American passport. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. I'm gonna tell you how the process was for me specifically. I'm gonna have timestamps right beside me of basically all the topics I'll be talking about. But I'm so excited to talk about this because there's a lot to unpack and it was quite the journey for me. Okay, yay, let's go. So this portion we're talking stats, and because we are talking stats, I decided to dress up in my father's old blazer. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about some stats because they're not the most important thing, but I guess it's always just nice to know. A lot of people are secretive about their statistics and like their SAT scores and their GPA. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about my stats and a little bit about my academic background. So I am Nigerian, as like I've not said that enough times, but I'm Nigerian. I have grown up in Nigeria for the majority of my life. I did a British curriculum secondary school, and then I went on to do the last 2 years from American high school. So it was like really an adjustment for me. I feel like I'm in a confession. So my SAT score, I did it 3 times. My eventual score ended up being a 1410. So that was my SAT score. And then super scored, which a lot of colleges actually do. So if you don't know what super scoring is basically when they take the highest score from each section of the SAT and add them together, and my super score was 1440. So it wasn't like a huge difference, but from like something like a 1400 to a 1450 gives you a little bit of a boost. My GPA, she is a wild one. I didn't even know what GPAs were when I entered the American high school system. I'm not gonna say my GPA because, to be honest, I don't really know anymore at this point. My GPA went up and down and then up and down. Like, she was all over the place, and I don't know what the benchmark is at this point. I would like to also say that my GPA was based on only the 2 years of high school, and so a lot of my other grades that colleges also reviewed were from the last 2 years of my secondary school and my IGCSE results. So that is all British system, and that is entirely different, so they review that differently. As an international student, I did not apply for financial aid. There's a lot that goes on surrounding financial aid. I am very fortunate that my parents are able to afford sending me to university without financial aid. A lot of colleges are not need blind. Even the colleges that are need blind, a lot of them are not need blind for international students. Just be aware of that if you are applying for financial aid, that will play a role in your application. Just letting you know. Most schools, I believe, have college counselors, and college counselors basically just guide you through the process. My college counselor was amazing, but for me, my biggest resource was my parents. Like, if you have Nigerian parents, you know how meticulous they can be. Specifically my father, he would like just read over my essays to make sure that they were good, give me pointers if he thought I needed them, and I had full control, so I wasn't having my father write my essays. Take full advantage of your college counselor if you can, but if you cannot, and if you have supportive parents like I do, please use them because your parents care about you. My dad likes to say this thing where he's like, your college counselor has like 20 students, but your parents have maybe 3, maximum 5 if you're getting ambitious. And in my case, I'm the only one who was really applying to college, so they only have one really in the college process. So they were able to put that much attention on me, which was really helpful. At the end of the day, they're still parents, they don't know everything, so make sure you double check things with your college counselor. They're the professional on these things, so ask them everything. Now I'm going to talk about how I decided my schools. So they gave me rankings, so I would rank every school I liked into a possible, probable, reach, and extreme reach. And this is basically just ranking how likely you are to get into that school. So I think I had 3 to 4 in each category, and I know that I applied to a total of 15 schools. I actually ended up getting into one of my extreme reaches. I got into like 2 of my reaches, and then half of my possible. So basically, the rankings went the most accurate for me. Or I'll leave it at that. So I'm gonna say the schools I got into because we're gonna do that. So I got into BU, Boston University, Northeastern University, Claremont McKenna, Clemson University, Virginia Tech, Loyola Marymount University, Lafayette. I got into Emory. I was actually on the wait list and then I was taken off the wait list. I'm gonna count that as I got into Emory University. So those are 8 schools that I got into, and I applied to 15. So basically 50%. Peace out. Okay, so by now you're probably wondering, which school did I eventually decide to go to? And, drum roll please, I will be attending Claremont McKenna College this fall. It was really helpful to have that 2 years of high school that really just helped me to know a little bit more about the American system and just how it works in general. So I'm gonna be telling you a little bit about why I am choosing to go to Claremont McKenna. So I'm gonna talk about probably a big one that actually ruled out a lot of schools for me, and that was the weather. I was going to high school in Connecticut, and Connecticut is cold. I didn't really think about that when I was applying for high schools. I just could not deal with winter. Me as a human being, as I am here right now, I had to face my reality, as my father would always say, and realize that I didn't like winter. I didn't want to be in winter. Oh, number 2. Okay, so if you know about the Claremont colleges, you would know that the Claremont colleges are a consortium, which is a really cool thing that a couple of American colleges, or just colleges in general, a couple of them do have that, which means they share resources. But the special or even cooler thing about the Claremont colleges is because they're all literally in the same place. You can take classes in any of the 5 schools. So I really like that. Claremont McKenna is a small school, but with the consortium, it could be a big school too. I could have my small intimate classes, but I also didn't have to feel like I didn't have a pool of new people to meet. Another thing was the liberal arts focus. So Claremont McKenna is a liberal arts school, and as somebody who really doesn't know what I really want to do with my life yet, I'm trying to make this sound a little less I'm extremely confused and more I'm still soul searching and exploring, because I am. But I picked neuroscience based on what I was interested in at that moment. I might change my mind. I really like my humanities and I really like my literature. And even if that's not what I end up doing with my life, I really still wanted to do that in college. And the last part was my campus visit and my gut feeling. So when I say gut feeling, I'm gonna expatiate a little bit. So I actually flew out to California. I've never been to California beforehand, but I flew out to California to visit the school and check it out. And I visited Claremont McKenna because it's an important choice. You're going to be there for 4 years, so you need to be sure that that is the choice you want to make. I flew out to California. I did a campus tour. I ate in the dining halls. I went to a dorm. It was good for me. I felt so much better when I now came home and decided that I wanted to pay the enrollment fee to attend Claremont McKenna. When I say gut feeling, I mean the Holy Spirit. This is specifically my experience. I'm a Christian, and so I definitely prayed about it and was just listening to God and just listening to know if I was making the right choice. And I felt the Holy Spirit was steering me in this direction. So for me, at least, when I say gut feeling, that's what I mean. I felt I was making the right choice. So hopefully you do whatever that means for you. That was the last factor that kind of involved me in picking Claremont McKenna. The sun just left the chat, so she's not here anymore. But we're gonna continue because I wanted to do this outside because I wanted this to reflect me. This is me, okay, in my backyard, literally on the grass, eating grapes and talking about my thoughts and fears of college. So let's do it. But let's open the grapes first because I'm hungry. Number 1 thing is kind of just social life. I feel this isn't very particular to me, but I don't know, it's hard for me. It's not hard for me to make friends because I feel the first day of anything, or the first couple of days of the first week of anything, everybody's super friendly, everyone's trying to make friends. But it is really hard for me to make genuine connections to people. What is biting me? Hello? My blood is not your feast. Thank you very much. So number 2 is my mental health. I haven't really spoken about my mental health like online. I haven't really spoken about it like to many people, and I haven't really spoken about it on this channel. So I'm not gonna start now. This is not gonna be that video, but I will say that my mental health really struggled in the last 2 years. Your sanity and your mental health and your mental well-being should come first. And I genuinely believe I will be happy there. And that was one thing why I chose it. But another thing that kind of also really scares me is that, you know, like, I don't think Claremont McKenna will be the answer to my problems, but at the same time, like, what if my problems come back? What do I do then? Well, this is not even college. This is just me reflecting on my life. Next thing I was gonna say is my roommate situation. Like, I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube just about college, and a lot of people talk about their roommate situation, how like they got a really bad roommate, or like they didn't end up being best friends with their roommates, which is just really interesting for me because I've been going to boarding school since I was 11. So like the roommate thing, like I'm not really worried because I've had a roommate multiple times. You always just deal with it, you know? It's not meant to be perfect. It's a college system. It's a school system in general. And that's like life. Like in life, you're just gonna have to deal with some people you don't really like. Like that's just how it works. So finances. I've been thinking about my finances like a lot. So much. So for the last like 7 years, I've been in boarding school. But only for the last 2 have I actually, you know, like really been out in the world and been able to like spend money on things. And the last 2 years, I've not spent money well. I've spoken to a couple of people, you know, in my situation who, for the first time, they were out, you know, with their own money and with their own stuff. And like, oh, it seems to be a common theme that the first time you're really free and you have money, you just kind of like spend it on useless things like food. Don't do that. I want to be spending money intentionally. I just want to be more financially educated and smart. I feel like a lot of people are super excited about college because that's the first time they're ever really like away from home. But I've been away from home for a while. And I don't know if it's just like me getting older, but I'm excited about college, but I'm not as excited as I would like usually expect myself to be. Like usually I'm this like super hyped up, like very excited human. And this time around, like so much as I cannot wait to get to school, I also don't want to leave home. I'm not excited enough that I want the summer to end early, you know? I'm not in a rush. It's just like, okay, school's starting. Like this is a new chapter. But I don't feel the same like, oh my god, school. Like it doesn't feel like that anymore. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's because of like just like the last 2 years, like what I personally have struggled with, or if, you know, maybe as you just get older, your emotions just like taper out, you know? I'm 18 now, so I've been saying that so much. I'm like, I'm 18, like I'm a legal adult, you know? It's cool until you have to pay your own rent, then that's not so cool. Alright, you guys, thank you so much if you reached the end of this video. I know it was kind of like an informative video, but it was also kind of like a life update. I'm so excited to start college. Like, expect college content. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.